Hey there, boys and girls, friends and neighbors. It's Big John here with you, and this is all right. It's really technically episode 2, but we'll just call it episode 1 of "Fuck You, It's My Show." Smart and Cranky with Big John. I like monikers, like I've told you guys in the past, so I had to come up with a cool title. So I think that's what I'm going with. And look at this clusterfuck. I'm driving down the road, and everybody looks like they want to fucking crash into each other. Yeah, it's my turn, dumb shit. All right, anyway. See, that's where the cranky comes in. But, you know, the genesis of Smart and Cranky is I've been a pretty smart guy most of my life. That's sort of where, I don't know where I got it from. I mean, I got brains, obviously, but somebody taught me a long time ago that, you know, knowledge is a good thing. I was a C student in school, but that's not because I don't have a lot of brains. I could have been a straight A student in school if I was interested, but I wasn't really interested in a lot of the things that they taught me. Plus, we didn't have this thing called the internet. And I mean, I love the fucking internet. I mean, back in school, I didn't want to sit there and read these books, you know, in a library or in class or at my kitchen table. It didn't interest me. There's other things that I wanted to do, but now, you know, wherever I'm at, in the car, especially on the shitter in the morning. I mean, I sit there on the shitter and for 45 minutes just reading stuff, reading articles. And so that's kind of where the Smart and Cranky comes from, because I contend, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, that you really can't be a smart guy or a smart girl in this world without either being cranky or coming off as cranky. Because being smart means you ask questions, you challenge things, you do research, and if you hear stuff that's bullshit, you call bullshit. So whenever you do that, especially nowadays in this like post sanity world that we're living in, if you challenge anything, if you question things, if you say, that doesn't sound right to me, let me ask you a few clarifying questions. There's a nice word for you, huh? That's not a 50-cent word. That's about a 25-cent word, but 25-cent words are still not very commonplace anymore. So clarifying questions, you know, okay, you said this, but I'd like some more information so I can clarify that for myself, because it doesn't sound right. You ask clarifying questions, you ask questions, you challenge things, you, God forbid, posit your own ideas. Wow, then you're just a fucking, you're either an ist of some sort, a racist, a sexist, a misogynist, whatever, or at the very least, you're fucking cranky. He's cranky, fucking cranky old guy. He just doesn't understand this new world here. You know, he just can't handle it, so he's got to bitch about stuff. No, I don't think that's the case. I think that you bitch about stuff because most of the world makes you feel like a fucking asshole for asking questions. Anyway, so hence, that's why I am how I am, and that's the name of the show, Smart and Cranky with Big John. But I started off with "Fuck you, it's my show," because goddamn do I love the internet. I love Facebook when this kind of started. I definitely love YouTube for the fact that, see that little red button right there? As long as it's blinking, then I'm talking, and nobody can tell me to stop. I don't have to look at anybody rolling their eyes. I don't have to look at anybody falling asleep, any of that shit. I can just keep talking, and as long as I see a nice little screen looking back at me, and I look halfway decent, got my shades on, got my Raider garb on, I'm like, all right, man, I'm rocking and rolling. I'm a filmmaker as well, so I made sure that I centered the camera nice enough to where it actually looks halfway decent while you're talking to me. Plus, I'm driving down the road, so you can see all the, see me passing shit, which is kind of a cool look to it. Anyway, so this today's topic, or topics, I guess, rather. Now, I've only got about 10 more minutes, so you know that this is going to be over in 10 minutes because I'm going to the Raider game, driving over to my old man's house, which is a Sunday ritual now for the last year and change, maybe 2 years since I moved out here to Vegas. Big reason I moved out here to Vegas is to be close to my dad. We're both Raider fans. Raiders coming here next year, so we go over to his pad, which is very, very nice. He's got a lot of TVs, and he likes to cook. So we watch all the games. We watch all the games, including the Raider game, and he cooks, and we have a nice time together. And a lot of times, we have a nice time together. It's always a nice time, but he gets on my case about shit, and I do my best to not go off on him and stomp out like I did a couple weeks ago. But generally, we have a nice time. So anyway, we're heading over there. Today we're playing the first of 3 home games against the Detroit Lions, which, is kind of a good segue. Detroit's a good segue into my first topic here. So, go Raiders, baby. Raider Nation. So my first topic has to do with Detroit, because there is a guy, for all you young folks out there that may be listening, a guy named Ted Nugent, all right? Was big in the 60s, started out in the 60s, big in the 70s, really big in the 80s. Fucking Ted Nugent, he's a rocker, all right? Ted Nugent and his band, rocking and rolling. He's also a redneck. He's like a Midwestern redneck. He's from Michigan, okay? And they like their guns, and they got militias out there and the whole bit. So he rocks and rolls and does his thing and lives that rock and roll life. But he also, is pretty smart, and he's been pretty, I don't know, I guess you could call him politically savvy. I don't know. He just likes politics, okay? And he is a conservative guy, so he's a Republican, so he's usually mouthing off for the Republicans, okay? And but here's the point that I'm trying to make, is that he has a moniker. His moniker, okay, it's Ted Nugent, but they call him the Motor City Madman, okay? Motor City, Detroit. You don't have to be from Detroit. You don't even have to be particularly fucking smart to know that the city of Detroit is called Motor City, right? Okay. Are we all in agreement that, yeah, Motor City sounds, you've heard Motor City in relation to Detroit, Michigan before. That makes sense, right? Because that's where Ford started, and, back in the day before the auto industry just got fucking gutted, Detroit was where all the cars came from, right? So hence Motor City. And he's a madman. He's kind of crazy. He likes going down that road. Likes being thought of as a madman. So Motor City Madman. Okay. The reason I'm mentioning this and I keep talking about it is I want you to understand. Okay, he is the Motor City Madman. You don't have to be a fucking brain surgeon or do a ton of reading to know that. It just makes sense. You've lived life. If you've heard of the guy, cool. But maybe you're young. Maybe you haven't really heard of the guy because he hasn't really been that relevant musically for, 20 years, okay? But if you're writing for, and I call them magazines, not magazines anymore because they're not in print, but a fucking e-zine, okay? Online publication. It's a fucking rock and roll publication. It's called Ultimate Classic Rock, UCR, okay? If you write for that magazine, which, here's my issue about that, is that, the standards for journalism, whether it's CNN or ABC or NBC, which are, paramount journalistic institutions, whether you like them or not, and then you got all these guys online, that write for these fucking, rock and roll rags, or you've got the political this, political that. Almost everybody gets their news online now, okay? So, consequently, you would think these fucking guys have half a brain. Do some research. God forbid, edit their shit before they hit the fucking send button, right? Well, no, I read stuff all the time. There's typos which irritate me because I'm not the best person when it comes to grammar, but I'm pretty good, and I can recognize typos and other shit like that. More advanced grammar faux pas I don't necessarily pick up as much, but just basic fucking typing things the right way and using the right verbs and nouns and tenses and shit like that. I pick that up, and all the time. You read stuff, and you can just tell that they just wrote it very quickly, and they just want to hit the send button before the next guy and get it out there. Well, we're all reading this, okay? And some people like me, fucking smart and cranky motherfuckers out there, are going, man, you're just a fucking idiot. Because I'm reading this going, who in the world, what editor of any magazine or, newspaper or anything else with any integrity at all would go, sure, that's cool. Not only is it spelled wrong, but you're saying the wrong shit. All right, took me a while to get to this, but Ted Nugent is the Motor City Madman. Okay? Detroit's not called Music City. Okay? Nashville is Music City. He is not a country guy. He's a rock and roll guy. He's from Detroit. So when you say Ted Nugent, the Music City Madman, twice, maybe 3 times, but at least twice in a very short article, you're a fucking idiot. And if you had an editor or any kind of boss that said, hey, let me just go ahead and go over your article, make sure that everything sounds right, we don't look like a bunch of fucking idiots before you hit send. Okay, well, apparently that didn't happen. Or the boss is a fucking idiot too. Probably the guy that wrote it's 22 and his boss is fucking 22 and a half. And they don't know they're heading from a fucking ass from a hole in a wall. And they don't know who this fucking guy is. So, hey, I know they call him the Madman. So, Music City, Motor City, it's fucking close. No, it ain't fucking close. It's fucking wrong. Okay? It's wrong. So, I'm reading that article. Fucking pisses me off. But the article was actually, I was reading it because I wanted to make sure that my recollection was correct. And I also wanted to read a little more about him. But I was watching a video from 2014 where he said a bunch of stuff, a bunch of plain language, and some insults and things like that about Obama. And the CNN actor is going, she says, you really need to apologize for all this because whether you like him or not, whether you think he was duly elected and fairly elected, you have to respect the office of the president. Okay, I totally agree with that. So it's been a couple of years, you dumb motherfucker. I mean, CNN is the biggest culprit of all. They don't respect Trump at all. Not only do they not respect him, they outright hate the motherfucker. They don't care that he's, that he is the president and holds that office, that prestigious office that just a couple years prior in 2014, they were getting all over the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent, about defaming. It just shows you how short of a memory we have in this fucking country. Even fucking journalists, people that are paid a lot of money. I didn't mean to flip you off there. I was actually just pushing up my glasses. But they're paid a lot of money to get it right or to, have their facts straight. No, fuck it. It does not. It does not align with our worldview and our and the way we get paid and what our bosses want us to do. So nope. Fuck Trump. He's an asshole. Trumpeter. This and that, everything else, all the other fucking nicknames they call him, talk about his hair being too orange and all that shit. So, fuck, man, my little thing here fell apart. Oh. All right, I guess this is going to be the video's be over a little quicker than I thought because my little stand fell apart. Shut up, I'm talking. All right, anyway. So that's my point, is that nobody reads anymore. Nobody does any fucking, the average person doesn't do any type of background. But the people that are supposed to be giving us our news, and I think it's cool that people are getting, oh, shut up, I'm talking. People that are giving us, the information in different, shut up, I'm talking. Anyway, my goddamn, shut up. There we go. This sucks, man. I need a fucking production assistant. This is bullshit. Anyway, point is that it's cool that we get our news from a bunch of different sources. I like the whole internet and the digital age as much as the next guy, obviously. I'm driving down the road at 70 miles an hour, holding my fucking phone like an idiot so I can finish my YouTube video. But, just have some fucking standards, would you? Have some journalistic standards. Make sure that the shit you're saying, all the bad, horrible, mean, backwards, fucked up shit you're saying about people, at least get the facts right. All right? If you don't like this guy, that's fine. Don't call him the Music City Madman because he's not from Nashville, and I'm a big country music fan, and that's a slight on country music. Don't call him that. He's the Motor City Madman. I like him. I've always liked him. I like that he says that he talks plainly, that he says what he means. He calls it his his Detroit, Michigan street fighter mentality, which is why he likes Trump so much, and which is why I like Trump too, because he's not polished. He says what he means, but he's a very good businessman, and I think he's done a very good job. But anyway, so I'm going to go. I had another topic that I wanted to talk about, but it's already been 15 minutes. So that is the first edition of Fuck You, It's My Show, Smart and Cranky with Big John. Hope you enjoyed yourself here. Hope you can actually see what's going on, because the last couple minutes here has been, the camera's been all over the fucking place. But anyway, just, you know what? Let's keep some standards here, right? I don't care if you're fucking 26, 16, or 46 like I am. You should care about the people that are giving you your news, that they're getting the shit right, okay? That's all I'm saying. They're getting the shit right. I mean, we all are divided and shit, and half the reason we're divided is because of this kind of shit, is the sources that you get your information from don't even take the time to get all the information right. So if you do read the fucking, 3 paragraph fucking news article, which is ridiculous, or like I always say, the 140 characters on Twitter, at least those characters ought to be fucking correct, right? Shouldn't they be correct? Yeah. So just get it right, or go do something else. Go work at fucking Burger King, because you shouldn't be able to be a internet journalist if you can't even get the background facts correct. If you can't get the background facts correct, do you really expect us to believe the content of your article? I mean, Motor City Madman is just a background piece of information that doesn't have any real effect on the article and stuff. It's a piece of background, right? It's in the film industry. It's B-roll, okay? But get the fucking B-roll right, because if the B-roll's wrong, if I'm showing you a fucking cool video of something and I take pictures of the wrong fucking city that I'm talking about, and I go, hey man, isn't Detroit good looking? And I show you pictures of fucking Washington D.C. Aren't you gonna go, this guy's kind of a fucking idiot? I don't think he's very credible. I don't think that what the information he's giving me, he's very credible, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. It's the same fucking thing. All right, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, and that's why I call you guys friends and neighbors, because it's kind of an old-fashioned, folksy way of doing things. I've done that for a long time, but I think that kind of goes back to how I feel about the world. We should all be friends and neighbors, all right? Just because I don't know you or anybody else that's watching this. I know a few people, but there's probably a lot of people in other countries and stuff that I've never met, but I still consider you friends and neighbors, because we should all consider each other friends and neighbors. We are neighbors in one way or another, and we can all be friends because we've all got shit in common. Okay? And hey, if there's any international Raider fans out there, friends and neighbors, go Raiders, baby! Until next time, remember, fuck you, it's my show. I'm Smart and Cranky. I'm Big John.